Welcome, Megan. Thank you so much for being here to share your story. This is really going to be a powerful conversation, as I feel like every birth story I've heard so far from our students has been really powerful. But yours is a little bit different in that you had to deal with an unplanned sort of couple hospital stays, placenta previa, a cesarean, a NICU stay. Like your entry into motherhood wasn't exactly easy. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. You try to plan something, throw it out the window. I
Yeah.
knew from the start that there was a good chance that I wasn't going to have a vaginal birth, um, because of the previa, but I tried my best to try to stay pregnant as long as I could to try and hoping that the placenta was going to move, and mine never did, and I ended up with a 2-week stay in the hospital before she was born, and then she was in the hospital for 3 weeks. So we were dealing with hospitals for about 5 weeks
That's
total.
a long time. And
Yeah,
you mentioned you're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right?
correct. Yep,
And your babe, this is your first babe, and she's now 3 months old.
exactly. Yep.
So this is all pretty fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all pretty fresh.
Yeah. So are you okay to share with us sort of what happened and like even some of the emotions around like when were you first diagnosed with having placenta previa?
Sure. At my 20-week scan, the anatomy scan, they let me know that I had the previa. And my only instructions were if I started bleeding, that I should go to the nearest hospital. I wasn't told that bleeding was normal, not that I remember, anyways. Um, and so when I had my first bleed, I thought I was having a miscarriage. The entire time on the way to the hospital, I thought I couldn't really feel her. So I was just really, really worried. And finally, when we got into um, got triaged and into the room, I just asked, like, is she okay? Is she okay? And uh, they're like, oh yeah, your baby's heart rate is really great. And I'm like, oh, well,
Mm.
thanks for telling me. The entire time I thought that, I had lost her, and I had 4 miscarriages in the past. So I really needed her to be the one, because I had never made it that far before. So that was at like 32 weeks. I got to go home for a few days, and then I ended up back in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Mm.
And just a couple of days before they were going to release me, so I could go home and try to, stay pregnant and try to get to the 37-week mark. I had another bleed, and they within 2.5 hours they took her out. So I was consented for surgery, IVs placed, and I didn't even have time to really process I was going to have a cesarean. um, and I was really scared,
Yeah.
because there was no time to even prepare, to even think about it. I thought, I was going to have to worry about it at 36, 37 weeks, and I was only 34 weeks along. So I in some ways I think it was better, because I didn't psych myself out for what the major surgery I was going to have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wasn't ready. Our house wasn't ready. I mean, we're renovating to make room for her, and so we had renovations going on.
Oh my
It
God.
was quite a whirlwind. And then, my husband's getting the room ready with my in-laws, and I'm not there. So
Yeah.
I didn't even get a chance to really help with the nursery beforehand. So it was kind of, like I said, just an absolute whirlwind. I didn't expect any of this.
And
And let me tell you, American hospital food sucks.
oh, I think it sucks in Canada too. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's a long time due to be eating it. Let's be honest. You were there for, you said around 5 weeks, over a month.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks, and then she was in the NICU for 3 weeks.
Or 3? Well, and you're there pretty much all the time, right? When their baby's in the NICU as
Yeah.
well, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned also, and this is a huge part, it sounds like, of understandably feeling a lot of anxiety if you'd experienced 4 losses before.
Hmm.
And I mean, can you, because I'm sure that I know you're not alone. I mean, I understand having had 1 loss prior and not wanting to even announce my own pregnancy until 20 weeks. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I know having had 4, I mean, I can just imagine, Megan, like that's the anxiety and this sort of feeling of needing to celebrate how far along you are, but also wanting to be so cautious at the same time, not get your hopes up, right?
Oh, I was before every single doctor's appointment, I felt like I wasn't pregnant anymore. And I would sit in the doctor's office crying because I just needed to hear that heartbeat every single time. And I almost wished I would have bought a Doppler, but I really wanted to just put my trust in God and just, this was a challenge I knew that I was facing, and I knew it was going to be somewhat of a test of my faith. And I really wanted to just lean in and trust. And here we are with a 3-month old. Like, it's beyond my wildest dreams.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. I'm so happy for you. You have your angel baby, your rainbow baby, I should say, after your angel babies. My
Yeah.
goodness. I mean, processing everything. I mean, literally nothing went according to the way you had planned or had, I should say, hoped for it to go by the
No,
sense of it. Like nothing.
no. Not a I mean, we didn't even name her until 3 days after she was born. So like none of it. And I will say the one thing with having a preemie baby with a cesarean, um, I was able to recover from the surgery without having a newborn at home.
Mm,
So I was able to kind of just focus on pumping and focus on myself rather than actually having to care for a baby. I
mhm.
mean, if you're going to find any sort of a silver lining, that would definitely be it. I don't, I mean, it's rough. You're dealing with stitches and then, puking with fresh stitches in your abdomen. And
You were puking?
yeah,
Oh no, did you get like a stomach bug after? Was it just meds that made you sick?
I don't come well out of anesthesia well. So I was vomiting, within a couple of hours after coming out of.
Did they put you under general for the cesarean?
No, but just the meds that
Or
they
the
had
meds
given.
in general? Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not easy on the body, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
Um, what would you, I mean, it sounds like you have had to be so resilient throughout all of this. Like the fact that you're even sitting here saying, oh, well, I guess there's a silver lining. Like I was able to recover more easily because my baby was in the NICU. I mean, that's pretty resilient thinking.
I mean, you can't just focus on all the bad things that are happening to you. There's got to be something that gets you through it. And um, I had to think of one positive thing, and
Mhm,
I
mhm.
I don't know how people who go through a cesarean come home with a newborn and are able to care for themselves and the baby. That's they deserve some real hero awards.
Yeah, it is not, it is, especially then you have a toddler or something like
Oh,
it's imagine, right?
that
Like
sounds impossible.
oh my goodness. So how are you like how did you manage mentally? It sounds like you had a lot that you had to obviously process mentally both during your pregnancy and postpartum.
Um, I I just tried to focus on any little good thing I could find in the day, and um I didn't do well, like, during the pregnancy. I was constantly worried. And like I said, once I heard the heartbeat, I was like, okay, great. Pass this hurdle, pass this week. We just need to get to 36, 37 weeks
Mhm.
and we'll be in the clear. And um, I I didn't do well mentally. I cried a lot and I was sad. Um, and then even like after when she was born and I couldn't bring her home, and trying to process having such a fast like birth. Like, I mean, within 2.5 hours she was out, and I didn't even have a lot of time to process that, and it was just all of a sudden, bam, you're a mom.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you're also not a mom because you have to go and visit your baby every single day to be a mom, and
Mhm.
that was tough. I just every day we just needed her to eat. We needed her to gain weight and in order to, come home. And um every day, like the nurses, she had amazing nurses. I knew that she was in amazing hands. Um and it was tough.
What was it like when you finally did bring her home after that 3-week NICU stay?
Oh, scary. like I I I was grateful though that she was in the NICU because we were able to get a lot of like tips and tricks from all the nurses. So it was almost like we had like a hands-on doula with us
Mm.
every single day. So, they actually taught us how to bathe her. They taught us, different ways that you can try to get her to take the whole feed, um, different ways that they burp her. And every nurse had their own tricks. So, I mean, we had like live advice every single day, which was kind of nice. But also, it's my first baby. It's scary to bring, that baby home. But as soon as we got her home, it was like our family's complete.
Oh.
I'm not I'm not 100% if we're gonna try for another one. I would love for her to have a sibling, but just the anxiety of not knowing if we're gonna carry to term again kind of
Mhm. Mm.
terrifies me. But
You don't need to
and
make that decision now.
no, 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 no. And it
Mhm.
definitely during the newborn stage, my husband's like, we're not doing this again.
Oh yeah, it's a lot, and it's a lot when you're already like in a almost like an emotional deficit from having had to go
Mhm.
through so much that was unexpected. And then I don't think we talk enough about the hormonal issue, like cascade that we have either, right? Like just feeling
Mm,
like you're on a roller coaster.
right. And I mean, my husband wasn't even able to make it to the birth. He was stuck in traffic. So my mom was in there with me, luckily. And then after she was born, he was able to come in. So I actually got two support people in the operating room, which was kind of neat. They said that that never happens.
Oh, well, I mean, they gotta give it, help you out wherever possible. I think you've been through enough, right? They can maybe bend the rules for you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. What would you tell if you could give your pregnant self advice right now? Go back and give her advice. What would you say to her?
Um, like, don't plan for anything. Like, uh, just be able to roll with the punches, and any advice that you get from other people, take it, but also know that your situation is not going to be the same. Your fears are not the same as their fears. And I mean, you hear a lot about that from like different Instagram posts from everybody. Everyone's like, oh, don't listen to so and so, just travel with your own journey. And if I were to do it all over again, I would probably do it the same way, but hopefully with less anxiety,
Yeah.
because knowing that a baby can come out of it is the best feeling.
What's her name? What's your daughter's name?
Marion.
Marion. Beautiful. And she's doing well now.
Oh yeah, she's doing great. She's kind of going through a little bit of a leap right now, so we're a little clingy and a little crying, but we're gonna try to get to the zoo today. So
Oh, amazing. Oh my God. You're going on outings. I love that. It's
yeah,
it's a lot packing up a 3-month-old for sure. So
and being an exclusive pumper is kind of tough too.
oh yeah, a girl, I lived it as well. That's hard. So especially with that 3-week NICU stay, so she just ended up being a not wanting the boob. That's not easy. I've lived that.
She she ended up finally latching for a good amount of time a week before I had to go back to work.
Oh my God, you're back to work. That's right. You're in the States. Oh my God. I'm always very like, like 3 because it's the day off for you today, right? It's Juneteenth
Yes,
in the
yep.
States. There's a US holiday. Got it.
Oh, I actually just had off regardless from my job today.
Oh, good. Okay. No, that's great. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So that's a lot to navigate too. How old was she when you went back to work?
She was just under 3 months.
Okay.
So I actually was able to take a full 14 weeks off.
Okay.
Counted the 2 weeks before she was born, and then they didn't count my 12 weeks of my maternity leave until the day she was born. So the person that does our schedule is a mom and she gets it. So it
Oh, that's good.
was amazing.
Oh man. So okay. I am more just like right now, I feel like I haven't found my words because I'm sort of like in awe of your strength and resilience. Like you're back to work, you're pumping, you had the NICU, you had the unexpected cesarean, you're coming off of prior losses. I mean, it's a lot is like the understatement of the year. So, I mean, one of the things I also pulled from what you wrote down in the sort of form that we sent out when we were looking for people who were interested in sharing their birth story was just your ability to sort of, I don't know, find the silver linings. And you know, a lot, there are sometimes people who will say, well, I took this quote unquote push prep course and I
Mhm,
didn't push my baby out. But you were like, no, like this program was, you know, and there's also fear around movement when you have placenta previa.
mhm.
So can you share a little bit about how like you were able to navigate movement in pregnancy and moving your body and all this kind of stuff?
Um, I mean, work. Uh, I I'm an X-ray and CT tech, so I do like medical imaging. So I'm constantly helping patients up and off the table.
Yeah.
Um, Luckily, after my 20-week appointment, I was put on restrictions that I wasn't supposed to, you know, lift more than 20 pounds, which I was glad that that was put in place. Um, but I still did that every now and then. And when I went to the grocery store, I probably had too many things in my cart or my little basket that I was carrying. So I'm trying to run to the
Mm.
front and having contractions. And I should have probably followed that 20-pound restriction a little bit more, but I also just wanted to get home and get some rest at
Yeah.
the same time because I needed my fruit. I had a little girl and it was all sweets that I was craving. So I was trying to supplement with fruit instead of candy this time around
Sure. Absolutely.
for some
Um,
nutrients.
so yeah, so I mean that feeling of feeling like your body is very vulnerable, right? Like that feeling
Mhm.
of that, you know, you shouldn't be living your life. I mean, going to the grocery store and buying fruit is just a basic daily or weekly sort of need, right? When it comes to doing life and living,
Yeah.
but feeling like you had those restrictions in place. Were you still able to do any of the movement in from the course?
Oh yeah.
You could
I
do it.
just kind of I definitely took it a notch down if I felt like any like pain or pressure, I'd just back off for that movement or do it a little bit more lightly.
Mhm, mhm. And how did it impact you? I mean, the movement and the even just a recovery, I'm curious to know because, you know, eh, a lot of times knowing that the recovery for your muscles is different. So some people will say that it's impacted them, at least the ability to connect to their muscles before their surgery, before their cesarean birth.
Hmm. Um, it like I feel like some of my scar tissue is adhering to my bladder,
Okay.
so I
Yeah.
can feel it like when I void, all of a sudden I feel like a little like whoop, and I'm like, well, that wasn't there before, so
Mhm.
so the movements of like the grape and all that has definitely helped me with not having to go to the bathroom as often when I'm at work and being able to hold it and have
Mhm.
my pelvic floor strengthen. It's like helped a ton. Even on our daily walks when I was still on leave, I would do the movements while I was walking and just try to concentrate on each one and then do all three at once and um, just kind of try to get the max out of our
Mhm.
walks. And I mean, we finally got up to 5 miles by the time we were
Wow.
at the end of our leave, and she was able to not need a feed, so that was kind of fun.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not a short walk.
And I would try to time myself,
Oh, really?
get it in under 2 hours if I could.
That's amazing. So you're
Yeah.
feeling good in your body. You're feeling strong. You're feeling,
Mhm.
hopefully you can do some, get see. Oh, I think I hear someone in the background now.
I know. You
Oh,
mind if I grab her real quick?
oh no, of course. Grab her.
Okay.
Megan here is grabbing 3-month-old Marion. They are off to the zoo shortly, and we're just going to wrap up the interview very soon. Hi, sweetie. There she is. Hi, gorgeous. Hi. Hi. She's like, where's that voice coming from? Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I don't want to keep you. I know you've got a zoo to explore today on your precious day off. So any final words that you would want to leave anyone with who's listening to this, especially someone who knows they may be having a planned cesarean birth?
Um, don't I don't know if I don't know if it was good that I didn't research much of what they actually did during it. Because medical stuff like that, I'm in the medical field, and medical stuff like that freaks me out, like cutting into muscle and um but just know that like everybody's journey is different, and um you will get through it. um the taking those the tape off, I mean, I didn't take mine off for like 3 weeks because I didn't look at my scar for 3 weeks. It just it I got real queasy, but just yeah. I don't know.
No,
Sorry.
no, that's it's totally fine. There's a lot to process, and it sounds like you're doing it's got to take time too, right? Like I think I
Yeah.
hear this often from a lot of people saying they don't feel comfortable looking at their scar, touching it. It does take time for sure.
I
But
feel like maybe I should have done the whole scar massaging, but
yeah.
at the same time, I felt like my what if my skin separated while I'm doing it and I start bleeding, and I don't
Mm.
know, it made me real queasy.
No, totally, totally. Well, there are the workshop in your dashboard on scar massage might help if you haven't looked through it. But yeah, generally we don't want to start until everything is closed around 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
When stitches, hopefully they've healed, at least externally. So you won't pull, but it's normal to feel that. I just want to normalize that so many people are sort of like, that not wanting to touch it or look at it. There's a lot of emotion there too. So it's a process and it's a journey, and you're not alone in feeling that way.
Right. And, as much as I was scared about possibly, tearing if I had a vaginal birth, well, I didn't have to worry about that.
Exactly. There's no easy way, that's for sure.
No.
No easy way. Oh, well, thank you, Megan, for spending the time today. And I hope you and Marion have an amazing time at the zoo.
Well, thank you. I think we
Yeah.
will.
I love it. Well, enjoy. And thank you again so much for sharing your story. It means a lot.